I never know how long to do that intro thingy to let people turn up for. So, yeah. Hey, Bill. Hello, Mr. Haythornthwaite. Just because I like saying your rather long name. And Pete, who is awake for everyone who didn't see. Because if you're watching the replay, you don't see chat because I've not done that yet. So, I have done some things. So, for either Pete, Bill, or Mark, if you type !map, something happens. If it's working. Now it probably doesn't work. And there's a thing on the screen as well. See? I did a thing. There's a few others you can type as well. You can do !YouTube or Discord or Maze Plus, I think. I think that's all of them. And they all do things. If that one worked, Mr. Haythornthwaite, I would be very happy and I would be spamming it in chat all of the time. There is a Z in Maze Plus, Bill. And there is an I, Pete. Something like that. I was messing around last night trying to... I thought that one might be useful for the Terra live streams. So, yeah. I think I might have... I don't remember if I thought about doing one for Paul as well, but I don't think I did that. Anyway. So we have a couple of things to get done, and then I have to decide what I'm actually going to do. I was worried about how fast the production was, but it's already processed the monumental amount of wool that we had. So we need to get that loaded up as the first job. So let's do that. I almost just did this without thinking, without waiting for anyone. But then I thought, actually, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with people watching. So, yeah. That's what we're going to do. That needs to go down. Do we need to straighten out the steering? And that's not a full pallet. And that's not on very well. But that will work. There we go. After me singing its praises. Yeah. So there is one more. There's at least one more, but that's a timed thing that will come up in about 10 minutes. So there we go. That should get that going again. And will make us another couple of 100 liters of fabric. So, and hopefully with us having brought a lot more sheep, the production of wool should go up. That would be good. So the question that I'm not sure about, let's bung flight mode on because it's going to be easier to see. I want to plant probably some or all of field 21 to be wheat, but it's going to give us way more than we need. So my first question is, should I cut it in half? Because we probably don't need that much wheat, but we could just sell it. And I had a quick look in the crop rotation, and it was previously, if I scroll across, I'll try and be less aggressive. So it was oats, then canola, and oats, canola to wheat gives us a really good yield bonus. So actually we'd get quite a lot. So maybe I could plant the whole thing with wheat. I'm not going to plant houses. If I was a real farmer and I was where I live, I would be growing solars, it would seem. Growing solars seems really popular. But now I want to grow wheat, peat. I'm growing wheat, peat. So the question is whether I cut the field in half. Now I've got a silo that holds loads. Maybe I don't need to. So that's one question. We could do that today. I would need to get a seeder to do that. Or I can skip ahead to where's the calendar? The calendar live these days? October, where hopefully we would have some root crops ready to harvest. So those of you that are here, which would you prefer to watch? Because I haven't really decided. Yeah. I had hoped when I skipped to September there would be a root crop field harvest, but there isn't. So wake up, Mark. It's either plant wheat in field 21 now, or just skip ahead to next month and hope we get a root crop harvesting contract and then plant the wheat in here in October after we've done that. Buying another field is not one of the options, Pete. I will be buying another field. I will be buying... You were probably asleep again, Pete, weren't you? I plan to buy field 29 once the corn is gone to put root crops in. We have a decision. Plant wheat. One decision, one vote is enough. Right. So the Unimog is the weapon of choice, which has 240 horsepower. Seeders. We need a direct seeder that uses 240 horsepower or less. That would work. That would look kind of weird on the back of the Unimog. The Vadestad is an 8 meter. I like the idea of that. I like the idea of an 8 meter seeder that's a direct drill. Do we think the Unimog will pull that thing? What other options? That's not a direct drill. That's not a direct drill. Don't fancy doing that field with a 3 meter one. That is and only needs 200 horsepower. It is flat. We won't get away with that one. That's 6 meters and 220. I haven't used that one before. I haven't used the Falcon. Don't fancy using something that complicated. So it's between the Falcon or the Horse. And I'm probably just going to lease it because I think the rest of the stuff we're going to be doing in spring. So interactive gameplay, it says Falcon. I've not used this before, so does it do? It does seed and by the looks of it, which is good. So let's get a bag of each. Should hopefully be enough. And let's jump in the Unimog and get going. Let's quickly check the sheep for feed. I think they are okay. I think grazing, yeah, grazing is keeping them going just fine. Six meters should get this done relatively quickly. I'm pretty sure it said it was a direct drill. Pretty sure it said it was. It's a bit late now. Blue, yes. It is. Which is kind of handy. He's going to forwards. And I guess I don't necessarily need to plant wheat. Mark, have you got your magic spreadsheet handy? Because we could do wheat or barley. Which is more profitable to sell the excess? Barley, yeah. Maybe I should do barley. Although actually, which, better question. I think I know the answer. Barley yields the highest, doesn't it? Because what I can do, yeah. So what I should actually do is convert it to grain grist, which I can sell for 2 grand per 1,000 litres. Which is way more than either of them is worth. Yep. So we're going to go barley. There is not a road sign there. No one saw a road sign at all. See, no road sign. Well, that was different. I just had the milkman knock on the door. Right. Let's make some progress. Ooh, that's a lot of lag. That was a lot of lag. That is a lot of game lag. That is not a lot of game lag. Okay. Let's turn off flight mode. That was weird. I wonder if it was the road sign being knocked over. Yeah, an old school milkman knocking on the door. think he had a bit of a shock when he was met by 4 dogs barking at him. But, you know. Get rid of that. There used to be a local one, and I thought they shut down, and I'm guessing this guy I was going to say must be new, but he looked pretty darn old to me. I don't want to say he made Pete look young, but, you know. But we still have a few around here. But we use so little milk. The only thing milk gets used in our house is in my Mrs. T. So we barely use a pint a week. The milkman that used to be local, I think they had what looked like milk floats, but they weren't electric because they covered quite a big area. I guess these days you could just use a Tesla. Same thing, isn't it? To be honest, if I was going to buy milk like that, I'd rather go buy it from the farm that's on the way to where we buy dog food from, because that's like fresh out of the cow and really tasty. So I'd rather buy it from there than anywhere else. That's like some of the best milk I've ever tasted, and I don't see any reason to buy it from somewhere else. It is full fat milk. It is the best tasting milk. It's not full fat milk, Mark. It's just milk. Milk is supposed to have fat in. Full fat milk is only like 3% fat. And that's where the vitamins are that are good for you. Ignore the marketing words I'm not going to say. You only get fat-soluble vitamins in fat. So quite often, and I actually stopped recently because I don't know why I stopped. After my Saturday long run, I will drink a litre of I guess it's gold top milk, the unhomogenized, as close as you can get to fresh out of the cow milk. And sometimes it's that road sign, I think. Sometimes, to make it even yummier, I will add double cream to it. Because health is important. Well, actually, it's because I eat a high-fat, low-carb diet. And so that's where I get my energy from. But I find it funny to say stuff like that because it probably makes people freak out. But I will quite happily drink double cream. I just buy nice real butter. That's much easier, Pete. God, that's a flashback, Bill. That's a flashback. I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not going to do the accent, but I can hear it in my head. I can hear that ad in my head. So I am waiting to hear back from the garage about my car. I was correct with my diagnosis. The turbo was dead. And they should be now in the process of fitting a new one. And I will very soon be about 650 pounds lighter, which is not awful for that, I don't think. It was, the turbo I think was about 350 quid, and then the difference to fit said new turbo. So it's the benefit of going to a family run garage that have done a ton of work on all of our cars for as long as they've been open. I don't want a reconditioned one, Pete. Rather have a new one. Given that this is the second one I will have had fitted in about 3 years. And actually, advice from father-in-law that came via my dad randomly. My father-in-law used to work in truck repair. Is don't have reconditioned turbos. They're a bad idea. So, yeah. And it should hopefully be ready by the time they finish today, is what they said. So we'll see. But that will be pretty. I'll be pretty impressed because I dropped it off at 8:30 this morning. So they can get me my car back in under one working day. I will be a very happy man. And I was expecting to pay at least £1,000 to get it repaired. So because that's what Google told me to expect. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, maybe, but I'm guessing you can't get those on same-day delivery. I want my car back now, working. Let's skip those. And it's kind of too late now because they will have ordered the part and be most of the way through fitting it. So and I really, really hope I don't have to have a third one fitted to it. I actually can't remember when I had the first one, the first one fitted. It might have been longer ago than I think, because time kind of goes by really quickly. So it could have been quite a while ago because I've had that car for quite a long time now. So. because they're made by you. That probably means they just nick them out of other people's cars. Let's do some VCA stuff. There we go. No, this is just going to be whatever bog standard replacement part, generic thing, and it'll be fine, and it will make my car work again. And that is all I want. Just want my car to work. Beyond that, I really don't care. No, I don't need new wheels and tires, Pete. Oh, I've got a story. We when I was at uni, my two, I bet you do, and this is probably going to be a guy very similar to the guy I'm going to tell you a story about. My two of my housemates were really into modifying their cars. Now, said cars were really good. You know, one of them had a Vauxhall Nova Saloon that was originally beige, and originally is important. And the other one had a 1.6 Ford Sierra. And the guy who had the Ford Sierra was looking for some new wheels, and he wanted to put alloys on it. And he went through the local free ads or whatever paper it was, and we went to this guy's house. 3 of us went because it was a dodgy looking ad, so the 3 of us went, and he knocked on the front door. They wouldn't open the front door. It's like, go around the back. We went around the back. The back garden of this house was full of matched sets of 4 wheels and tires for, just everything. I'm pretty sure they knew your guy. And so we got his set of 4 wheels and tires, and we left really quickly. Yes, but the beige Nova Saloon. Oh, there's the other one, the one that I said about. You could use that to buy the new DLC. Please don't. Please don't waste your money. Yeah, so beige Nova Saloon. I think it was a it's like a 1.3 or something like that. So no power, boxy, beige. My friend got a lowered suspension kit. It was lowered so much that maybe they fixed it. I know I watched Mr. CDP's video yesterday, and he said they weren't expecting it to be fixed until Thursday because it had to go through testing with Microsoft and PlayStation. But maybe they rushed it. I'm still not going to buy it because I just don't think it's good value for money. £8 for 24 sheds and a few productions. That's my opinion. If you think it's good value for money, you are entitled to spend your money on it. So it's a free world. Well, it's not, but you know, you can choose how you spend your money, is what I mean. And I am choosing not to. Because I don't think I would make use of it for the cost. And equally, I don't think I would get return on the investment just from making content from it. So, yeah, anyway, beige Nova 1.3. The lowering kit took it so low that when you jacked the car up, the suspension springs fell out. So you had to lower it so very slowly and put the suspension springs back in for the back. He had a body kit on it that meant that you couldn't go over speed bumps without the car bottoming out. And he then painted it Kawasaki green. The last bit he kept this Kawasaki green, lowered Vauxhall Nova, saloon, in about the first 2 years that he was a secondary school teacher. Yeah, those 3 productions, and I'm really sorry I cannot pronounce your name. Hele, I'm going to say. Those 3 productions were the reasons I was vaguely interested, but I'm not paying £8 for 3 productions that I'll probably only use once or twice, and then never use again. And there's a mod that does beat cleaning that's probably faster, and it's a mod so I can edit it, not a DLC. There are loads of productions that make fertilizer. So like the homebrew that I'm using on Saxthorpe, and that's free. So it's yeah, it just doesn't feel. And part of me not wanting to spend the money is showing Giants that I don't feel it was a good choice for a DLC from a modding team. It only holds 4,000 litres. That's, yeah. I probably would never use it then. And it produces pallets of stuff. See, and you can't edit it because it's DLC. So it was part of Global Productions. Premium potatoes. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Oh, I've run out of seed. I had great fun doing premium potatoes in FS19. It's worth me getting more fur as well, yeah. Oh. There. Yeah, I loved and it was a really nicely done mod actually. The potato washer and the sorter, and you got pig food out of it. The sorter was a bit iffy in 19. Yeah, Dazed one is better than that, and free, and if you want you can tweak it a little bit because it's a mod. I think they maybe missed the mark picking that as a DLC. Again, just my opinion, but and I've only watched FSG do a review of it, which was pretty negative, and I watched Mr. CDP's video where he talked about the fact that Giants were still planning to release it, but they were expecting to release it with all the bugs in. That's all I've watched, mainly because it doesn't appeal to me, and so I'm not going to spend time watching content about it. I suspect that a lot of people are being artificially positive about it because A lot of people are when they do stuff about things like that. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I haven't watched it. So and yeah, if I've got to pay for it and I don't think it's good value, I'm not going to do stuff on it. I don't think Paul would want to be Giants president. Paul doesn't want to do things like that. He just wants to make the mods he wants that make the game fun for him. The reason we get Maze Plus and Terra Life is because that's how he wants to play the game. And he doesn't want to do all the other stuff. So he just wants to make the game so he can play the game how he wants to play the game. And it's just a nice coincidence for all of the rest of us that we like to play the game in the same way. I know he's spoken about loads that Maze Plus existed for him a long time before he turned it into a mod, and it was only because I don't remember which one it was of farming agency team that convinced him to make it into a mod so people could use it. It existed before that. He would implement bits himself and he would play with it. And we're just lucky that we now get to use it. And it's, Terra Life is just the insane extension of that. And then here I am doing something fair. I am running Maze Plus and on-food editions and enhanced animal system. This save feels quite basic because it's quite a small farm. We've got another 51 litres of wool. Wow. Anything decent that we need in the sales yet? Might be worth picking up one of those, although maybe not. Not really. Do any of you use the spaders much? Yeah. Good point. There was another one as well. Let's make sure I get to the end of the row. Yeah, if we're going to be doing sunflowers, that is a good point, Mark. That is a good point. So that's 6 meters. And the class 1 is 6 meters. I'm guessing a 6 meter corn header or sunflower header needs a fair bit of power. I'm guessing this won't run a 6 meter because it only runs a 5 meter grain header. And I know I can just service it. I can just give it a major service. I think that's one of the great things about that mod is used kit becomes way, way better because you can just, get your spanners and hammers out and fix all the broken bits. And you are good to go. Do you reckon it will run it? 16 grand versus 28 grand. 23 hours, 19 months. Or I guess we just get the older one. I think we just buy that. No, we don't buy it there because it will drop it in the field. We'll buy it afterwards. Sort of. And yes, if people play with lots of new kit, they're not going to use it, but that's not who the mod's aimed at, is it? It's aimed at people who tend to end up with higher hourage kit. And I think that's a lot more people than some people realise. So it's not a mod that's going to appeal to everyone, but there are people that will complain about it, whether you make it, you know, however you make it. It's the nature of people. You know? It's a mod that's aimed at people who have kit that needs that feature. If that's not for them, it's not for them, you know? I'm sure they did. When I read them, it was a little bit. But if you look at most of my saves, there's kit on them that needs that mod. I bet if you look on the multiplayer save that you're looking to add it to, there's probably loads of kit that needs that mod. The fact that, you know, when I previewed it, loads of people, had someone was trying to download it for their console and asked why they couldn't. I think it depends on, you know, if you ask one person that has stuff that's only, you know, that's a year and a half old save, if they brought all new kit, no, it's not going to be relevant. Particularly if they play on single player in a style that uses quite a low amount of time, yeah, it's not a relevant mod. It's irrelevant to me at the moment on here. But if you look at my Saxthorpe save, which is still only on year 2, but I have stuff that has over 100 hours on it because I brought all used kit, it's completely relevant. I'm sure, you know, if you ask people, like, he's not here at the moment, but people like Eagles are desperate for that because they have stuff that has, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hours on it. There are people who put a lot more hours into it than other people, and if you ask someone who doesn't play a lot for advice on a mod like that, you're going to get advice like, well, it's not really very relevant, is it? It's a very play style specific mod, and yeah, remember someone random said this is something that was needed, and go if you need remotivating, go back and look at the comments on the Saxthorpe video from last week. Yeah, I think it's going to be, it's a niche thing for people who play a certain way. Like, you know, if I go in here and pick some stuff, this is going to be a really bad example, isn't it? I mean, that truck, you probably very quickly will want to give it a major service. That combine, you're very quickly going to want to give it a major service because that's going to be seriously expensive to repair when it hits 25 hours. gamey not helping me. But if you buy used kit, this mod is great. And again, adding text in that if you're someone who buys a lot of used kit, it's really useful as well. Actually, it was something I meant to ask you, and I can ask you because you're here. If you buy used kit, I'm assuming it uses the purchase price to work out the service price. So it's going to actually work out. Yeah, it's almost kind of slightly OP because it's what, 5%, isn't it? So it's going to cost me. Let's take this Massey for example. It's going to cost me $3,000 to do a major service on this when I buy it, when it hits 25 hours, and it's going to be like new to repair. So yeah, if you buy a lot of used kit, this is going to be a really powerful mod. And yeah, the game's kind of not helping me particularly by not giving me used stuff, which is particularly old at the moment. But I think it's going to make a really big difference. I also need to look at what else I need to plant as to whether I want to hang on to this or not. Ignore all of that. Let's get rid of that. Come on. Let's get rid of that. So probably not. No, that's all going to be spring planting. So X. Doesn't seem to want to unload, which is interesting. I might do that afterwards. Oh, that's not what I expected. That's not what I expected. Maybe actually if I hook it up to something which doesn't have all of that. Yes, I know this is going to look rather silly. His comments were not wrong, but they're very playstyle specific. His comments were very playstyle specific, I think. There we go. Maybe that's a better thumbnail. Clickbait seems to be a thing at the moment. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a day here. So, I guess next time I need to roll that field. But for now, I'm going to say thanks for stopping by. It was good to have a little chat. And yes, it's a good mod mark. Get it submitted. Once you get it submitted, you've got about a month to decide what you want to do. Because that's how long it seems to take. And yeah, I'll see all you guys next time. Bye.